welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Chocobo GP. I made a video the other day talking about microtransactions, and I wanted to build on that and make a review of the game as it stands for me right now. I don't have Nintendo Online right now because there's no reason for me to have it and pay the subscription. However, with what I've experienced in the story mode, I may throw it on for a month to try out Chocobo GP and multiplayer, which is your online game modes. Now, Chocobo GP is, you do a whole bunch of races, and wherever you finish, you garner more points, just like Mario Kart. So, that doesn't change in the experience. Multiplayer, just play with online or locally, just do races and stuff like that. The shop, which I'll talk about again in just a second. Options are great, there's enough options. Now, these are kind of your solo player stuff: story, time attack, series races, custom race. Now, custom races, you can build your own race with your own rules and stuff, so that's also pretty damn cool as well. Great additions to the game to flesh out the game and experience, and solo experience and all that. Series races, you just gotta rank, it's like a mini GP. Time attack, do time stuff, like very fairly things that you see all the time within karting games. So story mode, okay, story mode is surprisingly incredible. It is a lot of fun. There are, I think, 11 chapters altogether, and in every chapter there's 2 significant races, one on a short version of the track and one on a long version of the track. And every single time you finish a chapter, you go onto a new area with a new track. So you'll unlock that track as you're going and you complete that chapter. Every single time you go to a new chapter, you meet several new enemies or allies, which you can further unlock in varying ways. So let's say you go onto a new chapter and there's 4 new enemies. 2 of them might unlock just from completing the chapter, while 2 of them might go into the shop where you can buy them using tickets, which I'll like to talk about again very soon. So the actual story mode, without actually spoiling what happens, I mean, it's not that crazy of a story, it's a karting game, but the voice acting is phenomenal on every single character. I was very interested to see like Vivi and Steiner from Final Fantasy IX and what kind of voices they used. All the voices and all the voice actors are not only good and charming, but they fit the characters as well. If you've played Chocobo games before, Chocobo Racing GP and other varying things, you're going to recognize a lot of the people within the game. If you've only just experienced Final Fantasy main games, you're still going to have a lot of nostalgia here. You're going to meet interesting characters that, are the namesakes of characters you already know, but in a different animated universe. And there's a lot of like good kind of like feeling around certain tracks and little Easter eggs here and there. Like, for instance, one of the characters has a theme music of Lagunas from Final Fantasy VIII, Man on a Mission, and it's phenomenal. You hear it all the time. The characters are a lot of fun. There's a lot of dry humor, there's a lot of fun, witty experiences, that you wouldn't expect from what seems like a childlike game in terms of like animation and the subject around the animation, like little chocobos, little birds, little little characters and stuff. It's not actually just that childlike. It's very fun, quite witty, dry humor, and it's a thing you should experience if you like Final Fantasy and you like karting games. This should be something you should be playing just for the story mode alone. There's several bad guy-esque villains in the game. Some of them are a lot of fun, like Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is hilarious from start to finish. Is like a running joke, a running bad guy. And then you have some plot twists at the end towards what the end game villain is, and you've just got to win races. Like that's the experience you'll have. You got to play and win races. And like I said, in the shop you'll get to buy certain characters and stuff with tickets. Now, this is the ticket shop right here. There's a few characters that you'll unlock, like Ifrit, for instance. It's going to cost me 40 tickets. Completing the story mode left me with 157 tickets to spend, so I can buy 3 characters. And then there's I think there's 6 or 7 characters you can buy, and then on top of that there's other things like cars and vehicles and colors and outfits. So to get tickets, you want to play the story mode and do the challenges. There's challenges like finish first every lap during a race, and you'll get a bunch of tickets for them. You can go back and you can go through the story and you can get as many tickets as you possibly can. There's also another way of doing it, which is a steady progression just from playing the game. Like in Mario Kart, you're collecting coins. You get 10 coins and you will be going your fastest. This game has crystals. You collect the crystals, you get 10 of them, you're going your fastest. But every crystal you collect adds on to your already accrued crystals, and then every single time you hit the pinnacle of your current kind of XP bar, you will gain tickets for doing so. So for instance, one of the first levels, you have 20 crystals. You collect 20 crystals, you get tickets. Then the next time you want to level up, it's 21 crystals and then 22 crystals. So the longer you play, more tickets you're going to get. Is it fair and balanced? Probably not. You're going to have to put a lot of grinding to be able to buy characters. Let's just put it that way. And then there's cars, colors, all that kind of stuff. Your guild shop is from doing things like Chocobo GP, weekly and daily missions. You need online for that to be able to do it. And then you have your shop, as I said, in the microtransactions, where you have to pay for it yourself. So, you know, it's totally up to you if you want to do that. Once you have completed the story, not only can you go back to your normal class and either play beginner, which is you just going slower, you can play master, which is what I played it on anyway, and then there's an extra mode. So you have an extra difficulty level, but you get new rewards when you complete challenges. So, you know, if there's an end game, there's a new game plus, which I haven't looked at yet, but I'm assuming it'll be probably worth doing, and I'm going to try it out at some point. But you do get like a new game plus, so if you are just playing the story, you get more content. So completing the story mode, other than Squall and Cloud, you can see all of these characters I unlocked. So you do get a fair, huge roster just from completing the story mode. So, you know, I feel there's enough there for you to just play the game without having to spend extra money or do crazy grinds. However, I will say this, and this is kind of my biggest problem with this game, but it's not that much of a problem where it's detrimental. The way I can explain how this game plays and feels to play is completely the opposite of Mario Kart. So if you think about Mario Kart, they have these big long tracks where you feel like you are fast in those tracks. So like you drift around the corner, you get a speed boost and you take off, and then you build up speed by getting coins. You feel like you're constantly moving and, you know, getting faster and faster and faster. It feels like you're going fast. In this game, it feels like you're going slow on very small, fast tracks. You know, you can do a whole race in like 1 minute 20. So, you know, you can get through 3 laps very, very quickly, but you feel like you're going slow in a fast track, which is kind of weird to try and explain. But once you play it, and if you played Mario Kart before, you're going to kind of understand. That's not a bad thing. It's just something you have to get used to because it's not Mario Kart. But once you do kind of get used to it and you learn the tracks a little bit, it becomes, you know, more manageable and easy to experience. And because you feel slow in a fast track, when you get hit or when you hit an obstacle, you feel like there's no coming back whatsoever. You know, in Mario Kart, you can get certain items and you know, build back up to try and win. There's a comeback mechanic. It doesn't feel like that in this game. People who are in first can get a speed boost as an item, you know, so you have to very much rely on the RNG of those people being hit and you not hitting anything. There's also some of the tracks on the edges, so like, you know, like there's snow on the edges of one of the tracks. If you hit that snow, you just stop dead. Like there's no progressive slowness, you just stop dead and like 3 people will fly back you instantly. And because, you know, certain characters have bad drifting and, you know, you're drifting a lot, it can be very difficult to maintain hitting those obstacles. Obviously, the more you play it, the easier it's going to get and you find your right character. But I found it kind of frustrating in some of the story mode missions where I would be first for most of the race. I would hit like the corner of a slow down part of the track and I would lose like 6 places immediately. And the combat mechanic is not there. Like you have to get very lucky that every single character in front of you will hit an obstacle or get hit by something. The items that you can collect, or magicite in this game, the magic that you can cast, there's a lot of varying things here. There's a lot of choice. It's fun, it's different, there's a lot of things to use. And also on top of that, say you collect one of the eggs which gives you a fireball. If you collect another egg which also has a fireball, your current fireball will double up and become more powerful, and then you can get a third one and it will become like the highest level of magic that it can be. So, you know, you don't always have to throw out everything that you collect. You could build it up and get something even stronger. And then the variety of things in this game, like all the different magics, like ice will freeze someone, fire will knock them out. Each character has, you know, their special ability too on top of that. There's a lot of things and utility that you can use to enjoy this game. Like I said, there's no real like combat mechanic, but there's a lot of varying weapons and items to use, which makes it a lot of fun. Whereas in something like Mario Kart, if you're first, all you ever see is coins and maybe a green shell every now and again, you could be first and get something pretty damn awesome. So what would I rate this? Firstly, I'm going to talk about I'm going to take microtransactions out of the picture completely. That includes the buyable characters through tickets. I'm just going to talk about the game that I experienced playing and racing, and the story mode specifically, and how much fun it was. I would give this an 8 out of 10. It's not the most magnificent game in the world, and if you compare it to Mario Kart, it would be an 8 out of 10 just on pure content. Because of the fact that there's very few tracks in comparison to Mario Kart, it becomes quite like, oh, okay. If they were to release a DLC or varying free updates with new tracks, it would probably be a 9 out of 10 on that basis. Now, with microtransactions and how seemingly, I don't want to say scammy it is, because I don't feel it's a scam. I just feel like it's a very convoluted system, let's say that. I don't think it's the most expensive system I've ever seen in microtransactions. And there are things you can do and unlock within the game just by playing it, so you don't have to have microtransactions to feel like you are actually getting something from this game. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 overall with the microtransactions problems. And that also includes if there's any free updates in the future. I think this is a solid game. Is it worth a full price Nintendo game? No. But if you love Final Fantasy, yes, definitely. Because you're going to get a lot of fun little Easter eggs and nostalgia and just stuff like that. So it's very much about what you like and what you want to do. But the story mode specifically, which is what I want to talk about, is fantastic. From start to finish, it's just fun, it's funny, it's charming, the animation's great, the voice acting is incredible. And the story's great as well. Like, you'd think it wouldn't be that good, but it's, you know, for a karting game, but it really is. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of things you can do and unlock without having to spend a single penny. And I'm probably going to throw on a month's worth of online so that I can test the online and play that. But I don't feel like I would need it to enjoy this game. But it's just an added feature, I guess. Let me know what you think about this game. If you have had it, if you haven't had it and you're interested in it, what are you thinking right now at the end of this video? And all that kind of good stuff. Probably going to be the last video I put up on this game. But anyone who's looking to buy this game, I hope this helps in some way, shape or form. But yeah, thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.